All right. I am super excited about this because I watch Meoni's content quite a bit, and I'm excited to see what their predictions for uh Final Fantasy is, because like this next expansion is like really exciting because like this is this is when like they have to come out with something. Like we kind of ended an arc, a very long arc. I mean, I wouldn't say like it's completely over, but like enough to where like there needs to be enough of like an impact to bring people back, because a lot of people walked after Endwalker was done. Endwalker was done. That was enough for, like, it felt complete. A lot of things felt really complete with Endwalker, right? So yeah, you'll get people that'll come back here and there and dabble a little bit, whatever. But like the next expansion here has to just bring everyone back with like, I don't know, this level of like, they got to do something big to really outdo things. But yeah, we got Meoni's reaction and predictions and stuff, and I guess I'm reacting, right? But so like my prediction of will come after my reaction to his prediction thing is what we'll do. Um yeah, no, so this is going to be exciting because like I've talked to a lot of my friends about this, so like I'm already super excited about it to begin with. But yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. Without further ado, let's see, because like yeah, we'll just go through his prediction, and then I'll react, and then I'll give my like 2 cents.
All right, my friends, it is time to start speculating. Las Vegas Fan Festival is just around the corner,
Yep.
towards the end of this exact month that we are in. It is very exciting, and we are about to get a flood, literally, of 7.0 news and expansion news. So this is going to be a speculation video, just a bit of predictions. We'll see if we can pull anything out of our butts and predict some stuff, basically. So this can be quite easily done, I think, by just simply looking at the game, how it is, how it plays, and in regards to previous expansion launches, predictions that we had for them, and also fan festivals. So without further ado, let's get straight to this. First of all, without beating around the bush too much, I think there will be 2 normal jobs and 1 limited job. The reason I
Really?
think there'll be a limited job announced this time around.
That is already mind blowing because like I it's not that I wouldn't be expecting a limited job, kinda. It's just, to me, with the delivery of limited jobs, the fact that they've been done, could have put out limited jobs but hadn't. I'm My expectation behind limited jobs is so this only really works, this comment only really works for people that know Final Fantasy. You know how we have grand companies, you know how we have ranks. I think we cap at captain for the grand companies, but it goes all the way up to champion. There are so many ranks after captain that they haven't touched at all. I was kind of expecting limited jobs to just kind of be a thing that they implemented. They thought it was a cool idea, but then decided, I'm not really feeling it. That's pretty much exactly the same thing of what happened to like Scholar and Summoner. They had a concept, and then they did it for it, but then they never replicated that concept again. That's kind of what I was expecting limited jobs to be. But yo, I ain't gonna say no to, because like Blue Mage is fun. So like, okay,
around in some capacity is because of how long it has been since Blue Mage was announced and implemented. Remember, we had the unfortunate leaks around that. This time, we haven't had any leaks thus far about any new classes or jobs.
I
or anything.
do think that would be a really big hook. Not as big of a hook as I think they need to go, but a pretty big hook in order to like attract some people to Final Fantasy is a new limited job, since it's been so long since Blue Mage has been implemented.
Thing like that, which is really good to see. I do like to be in suspense and be surprised when things happen personally.
Yeah, it's
but
exciting.
I really think it has been too long since the limited job system got some love. I think that the content needs to be embellished a little bit more, and I think one of the ways they will expand upon that is they will incorporate new content at the same time as they implement a new limited job. So whether or not that will be Puppet Master, Beast Master, Tamer, or whatever,
that's a vibe.
I just think it'll be a limited
that's a vibe.
job. I would put my money on Puppet Master or Beast Tamer simply because, or Beast Master, simply because those are the ones that have been prior mentioned by Yoshi P and the team.
And not only that, it would probably implement very similar to Blue Mage, to where it's about going around and like going after specific mobs. Like Blue Mage goes after specific mobs to gain, skills and stuff. The process would be very similar. Which I think is just gonna be like, they could just go off of Blue Mage to help them implement another limited job without having to like work so hard on coming up with this brand new thing. That's not a bad strategy, and a lot of people would definitely get hooked on that. I really do think so.
It could be something completely different. That's just one of my minor predictions. Now,
That's
limited
valid.
jobs obviously don't reach the end game in any way, shape, or form. So I think that we should talk about the main job. I think there will be
outscaled the
two
end
main
game, if you
jobs.
ask me.
I think that it would be a fair assessment to say that we would get a physical ranged and a ranged caster. The only reason I can say this is because of how the game currently stands, with 4 of the majority of the jobs, apart from casters and physical ranged. As to what they could possibly be, I racked my brains the other night thinking long and hard about this.
Now, see, me and my friend were going over this, and we were kind of analyzing this just as well. Not only like as we can see, we have at least 4 in each of these categories, but we only have 3 in physical range. But another thing that we also are lacking, now that we got Reaper, which is our other maiming, we only have the one scouting. So making a physical range scouting might not be a bad idea, because of the fact that, there's that. But if you can't do that because of gear reasons, whatever, and the idea would be to do all the physical range DPS, have the aiming, stuff, then we need an aiming, and then we do need a scouting. We need a caster because, like, outside of the limited job of Blue Mage, we haven't had a caster since Red Mage, and that's been a minute. So these are kind of like things that we've taken into consideration.
And me and my girlfriend both sat down and said, it would be really cool if a ranged physical was something we would not expect, that's something that hasn't been done before to be.
Now, before he gets into this, there's still one thing we're waiting for, and that's, I don't know, we're pretty sure it's called Musketeer or whatever. They have the guild in Limsa, and the guild logo in Limsa hasn't been touched, to where it would be the Merle class and dual wielding pistols. We haven't done it. Where is it? We are implementing it, but we're missing it. Come on, people. But Yeah, remember, it's all about Yoshi P's really wanting to do things that haven't been done before. He really had a lot of fun doing the whole Reaper and the whole Sage thing and how he went about doing it. Um, More on like the bye bye phone. Um, with the new weapon concept with Sage, and then the just kind of the unique vibe of Reaper, right?
Quite original. And I think, honestly, something that uses a whip or something like that would be the best.
Well, see, we thought of whips too, but the problem is it would kind of make the most sense to put that on Beast Tamer. So if you're going to make a limited job class, and if it's going to be Beast Tamer, you might as well give them the whip because duh.
Way of putting something new into it. I thought about crossbows and I was like, well, no, that's going to be too close to a bard. Then I thought about guns and corsair and that sort of side of things, and that's a little bit too close.
Now see, we also had yet another idea, right? Hand blasters, right? Okay, so the reason why we thought of hand blasters, or one of the things that we've kind of like gone on this direction, when classes are implemented, we kind of also get sci-fi S classes. Good examples are the fact that Sage has these little floating jet things that shoot out freaking like laser beams. Gunbreaker has this really sci-fi fun-esque concept to it with its like, cartridges and its freaking explosions and stuff, right? We have Machinist. It drops a freaking like robot companion, right? We are just missing like, and it could even be a sci-fi caster, which would be really funny, to where like they're not actual like your traditional mage character. They're doing everything with like, their hand blasters and stuff like that. That was something that we had come up with and stuff like that. So like, and then that would complete like you could have a full party of just sci-fi S characters. It's a thought. Just, or you could even do like the sci-fi vibe to like counter the ninja, right? Because we have the scouting, but we still need another scouting class, right? So sci-fi ninja, don't know what that would be. Maybe something that uses sandblasters, or maybe something that uses something else entirely. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
To machinist, but I think like a whip class in some way, shape, or form with long-ranged whips and going into melee and then jumping back out again would work quite well. It would also incorporate a very exciting new type of weapon into the game. I think whips are fascinating. You could have like a cat o' nine tails. You could already think about all of the different types of elemental whips and things like that. And obviously we have Final Fantasy VIII with characters like Quistis and of course her whip. That looks awesome. I think a lot of people would probably go nuts for that. As to how any of the mechanics would work, any of the abilities, I don't know. I haven't thought about it past that. But really,
I mean, like, to be honest, it kind of reminds me a lot of Dancer, because like it would probably be more single target Dancer in terms of like mechanics, just probably also considerably faster, because you could probably do whip chain combo things versus Dancer's dances. Maybe it implements less damage output but strikes faster, like substantially faster.
That's one of the most difficult things to think about, because instantly when you think of physical range, you're like, well, maybe something that uses crossbows, and then you're like, no, that's too close to bard, like we say. And then you've got like an arbalist user. I don't know.
Technically, Machinist has like this thing to where his gun turns into a giant crossbow. So, shrug. That being said, if you're dual wielding crossbows, that's a unique concept right there, even though it's also just directly pulling from, like, what was it, the Demon Hunter of Diablo, but still, sometimes you can solve your problems just by dual wielding. Speaking of which, we don't have a regular dual wielding class. We have Ninja that does its backhanded dagger stuff, but we don't have a regular two swords freaking class. I know that they want to come up with like original ideas, and that's well and fine, but we're also like missing the ball here. We still need to catch up on some things.
Can you think of a better physical range? Let me know in the comment section below. And then
I feel like I've come up with quite a bit. Have I come up with quite a bit? I can't. I'm rambling. I'm rambling. I'm gonna see if he'll let me link this to him in the comments. I don't want to be that guy, but like it would be awesome if he checked this video out, checking his video out, and like we're spitballing ideas here.
for the caster, I think it would be really cool if we had like a shaman. So something that used a lot more lightning based abilities, that kind of shaman, a bit like World of Warcraft, kind of like elemental sort of stuff, because
totems.
We have lightning magic in some regard with thunder, obviously on Black Mage, but it's not really utilized as much. It'd be really cool to have that sort of, you know, the elements at your command sort of thing at ranged, or just lightning based or something like that. The prospect could be really exciting for the sort of job quests or, you know, role quests rotating around that. I think that would be a really good fit. As for other things that could work for casters, there's a million and one ideas. One of the ideas that my girlfriend had was like a witch doctor / sort of spirit user, so like using the spirit charms, sort of like an exorcist.
No offense, but it kind of seemed like you were suggesting the same idea. it kind of felt the same, but go on. Sorry.
That kind of idea. Since they're not going to go probably with the idea of a necromancer now, since they've gone for Reaper.
Yeah, since how they did Reaper.
Have like an exorcist or something, like maybe a holy, you know, holy warrior of some description as a caster. Using holy magic. I'm not really sure. A lot of people were thinking about Time Mage previously, but I'm not sure how close that is to Astrologian.
Yeah, it's probably really close. It's the same thing on how Geomancer's close to Conjurer, and I guess in turn White Mage. But like the problem with both of these, I think, would, if you were gonna do a Time Mage properly, I think you'd be, like, if you were going full 9 with time magic and like truly affecting the enemies with it and stuff like that to like the 9th degree, you'd be better off doing a limited job, just because like that entire format is just more catered to being able to do whatever the hell you want. And that's why Blue Mage is so much fun, is because you can get away with so much. So if you were going to do it, I think that's what I would recommend them to do. But other than that, yeah, it's going to probably be really close to Astro, so I wouldn't even bother.
Honestly, yeah, there's a lot of things you could do. Geomancer would probably be a healer if it was in the game, so I don't think that would work. Yeah. But I think a shaman would be a fairly safe bet for some.
I think a caster that drops turrets would be really cool. I would also think hello Yoshi P. It would, you know what? Here we go. Maybe if I attach myself to a Meoni video, you'll hear me. Yoshi P, I love you. So much. You're awesome. But if you could stop messing with Scholar, I would very much appreciate it. We can't weave or damage anymore, so there's really no point in not just doing one or the other, just spamming it. We don't have dots anymore, and our AoE damage is the only one that requires melee range out of the healers. If you could at least give it a dot, like we're the ones forced to go into the thick of things as a healer, and I don't have a problem with it. It's just I need something with it. I'd also appreciate it if we had cooler looking skills. It would be really cool if we played very similar to Summoner just as a healer. I think that could be a lot of fun. I just really need some love going over to Summoner. Oh, and by the by, this is another like 100% thing that I would love for you guys to do. Make the level cap 99 and then stop messing with levels. You could just keep scaling up gear item level. That's fine. You can scale it up until the bajillions. I don't care. But if you could just make the level cap 99, that would be so cool. So, yeah, please do that. That would just be a fun nod for all of us Final Fantasy and JRPG players out there in the world. 99. Okay, let's get back into it.
Something that would add to the game that doesn't exist already. The closest thing to it would be a black mage, but it doesn't fully go through as much of the sort of elemental idea as I had in my head. But maybe you have a better idea for a caster. But it could be something completely different, right? We know is there's going to be at least
I think my incorporating my friend Sandblast idea, but applying it to caster might not be a bad idea, to where they just do sci-fi magic. Because we need that fourth DPS sci-fi-esque character, so that way you could do a Gunbreaker, a Sage, a Machinist, and then the sci-fi caster, and then that's a full team. Oh, and if you could give us the G-Warrior stuff, like, I don't know what you plan on doing that, but do more of it, please and thank you. That would be great, because it's so cool. All right, sorry.
Job announced for 7.0, and I think Las Vegas will announce one of the things, and then Europe in London will announce another job, and then either that or having an extra limited job. So like there's a limited job and 2 normal jobs, or maybe a limited job and a normal job, just like 2 or 1 basically of the normal jobs. But I could be completely wrong, but that's my prediction. I think that would bring things in line. I think most people would take the safe
Wait, hold
bet
on.
and say
Wait,
that
was there? Wait, I was spacing on that. Was he saying that there was like a particular reason on why?
Basically, of the or having an extra limit. Europe in Las Vegas will announce one of the things completely different, right? All we know is there's going to be at least 1 job announced for 7.0, and I think Las Vegas will announce one of the things, and then Europe in London will announce another job, and then either that or having an extra limited job. So like there's a limited job and 2 normal jobs, or maybe a limited job and a normal job, just like 2 or 1 basically of the normal jobs. Okay. But I could be completely wrong, but that's my prediction. I think that would bring things in line. I think most people would take the safe bet and say that a physical ranged and a ranged caster rather would be the safe and easy sort of guesstimate. But maybe you have other ideas, and that's what this is all about. Let me know, and we can talk about this stuff. But one of the things, hopefully, they go into further detail at Fanfest Las Vegas about would be the graphics updates. We saw a very brief sort of slight talk and discussion about the graphics update coming for the game. This includes player characters majoritively, as well as the open world itself getting a bit of a revamp, presumably in new areas first, and then over time backdated for previous.
I think I still have how my character looked on PlayStation 3. I think I still have like a picture of him. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, my Makote already looks hot. Like, yo, he's just gonna look fire. Like,
zones in the game, which would make the most sense. They also mentioned at the time that they showed these very few screenshots of early development work at a live letter in the last couple of years.
yeah, those shaders.
The discussion that some NPCs obviously will stay the same, and new NPCs incorporated, and obviously the Scions presumably will be updated with a new graphics update, and then the rest of them will be updated over time. So
Oh, okay. It will be updated over time.
Synergy side by side of old models next to new models. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly that's going to look like, how jarring it's going to be,
Oh
what
my
sort
God.
of
It's going to look
frame
amazing.
we're looking at before the majority of the game can be updated to look the
It's
same, because
so beautiful.
any disparity is going to be quite noticeable, I would say, and could impact the game quite drastically. I'm all for the graphical update, and I would really love to see more discussion about it and see how far they have come in the last year or so, year and a half, since we last talked about this on a live letter, where we're at right now, how much work has been put onto that. And if in those graphical updates, if Vieira and Hrothgar can wear hats. That I had to say it. Come on, let's be honest. Another thing to mention then is on the discussion of Hrothgar, we should see an announcement and an unveiling of what female
That's
Hrothgar
true.
look like. They talked about adding this in 7.0, so it should be here. We should see at least some information, maybe some screenshots or artwork concept stuff of female Hrothgar. So there's that to be excited.
That being said, we need to address a really major factor, okay? Blitzball. Give us Blitzball. That could be the limited job. I don't care. The game, can we please have Blitzball? Like, now would be, oh my, that would be a thing to bring people back. Become freaking, let's, come on. 7.0 Blitzball. Let's go.
For as well. Additionally to that, obviously, we'll probably get an idea of where we're going. Personally, my prediction for that would be Mericidia.
Yep.
I think it comes as no real surprise that I would guess that. Obviously,
Unless if something
it's
dramatic
been
happens.
mentioned. If you've done the recent storyline without spoiling anything, really, there has been kind of an inkling towards the southern part of the world and the southern seas and what's the continent beyond. And if you've looked at the world map of Eorzea itself, without mentioning the other name because it's spoilery, you will see the big continent to the southeast. Also, kind of where Australia would be if it was a real world globe. That's Mericidia. So there's a lot of implications, especially with dragon-related storyline.
We even have
very excited. I think
we even have like the whole like Allegan war happened there. So we also have like the Warring Triad like origin and stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if we got like new versions of the Warring Triad, especially considering like we had like when we went to the first, we had like new versions of like, other primals. So like that's kind of what I'm expecting. Yeah, it's we've gotten a couple of hints. I think Blue Mage originated there. I think there should be a lot of Makotes down south. And then we have gotten a hint at like some of the like clothes, I believe. But and then to me that also seems like a perfect place to have a freaking Blitzball arena. Come on. Give us Blitzball.
That would be the go-to. Will they do two fronts of expansion this time, like they did in Stormblood, like they have done many times before, actually, where they do two major zones and then switch between them? Personally, I hope not. I hope that if they're going for Mericidia, they do Mericidia. If they do both the New World, which is one of the other ideas people have come up with, at the same time as Mericidia, I myself will probably be on the fence about that one.
Yeah, the new world, if I remember correctly, is just like far east or something like that, or far west or something like that. I can't remember.
To see how well they handle the switch between two places. I think that Stormblood's biggest fault was that it wasn't two separate expansions, because I liked the Girabanian storyline, but I also liked the Othardian and the Far Eastern storyline as well, equally.
It would have actually been very interesting if they did do that, because like then we would have had a much more fleshed out area for both, and I think that would have been really cool.
I think that they both deserved more time apart, right? Separated. It felt like we were jumping between the two. That's a valid criticism. I'm sure many people share a similar criticism to that, or they might love Stormblood, for that reason. Personally, I thought Stormblood was great, but they can definitely improve on what they have learnt thus far, and hopefully they just pick one place on the map, on the globe, and just go for it and do it in its entirety, and just do a nice variety of zones, a nice big major city of some description. I cannot wait to see and hear where we're going, and we should hear about that at FanFest Las Vegas.
Could you imagine if it's just not even because, like, I mean, shoot, we went to the first before we just went south. We went to the moon before we went to just south. So it would be absolutely hilarious if we end up going to, like, somewhere else entirely before we just go south.
Obviously Europe and obviously at Japan, because they need to save some things to announce and to talk about in further detail. So I think it's just going to be very basic announcements, maybe some concept art, and that's about it.
I'm excited just to hear what the first one is going to be. The first class is going to be.
I can't really think of anything else they could announce. I'm sure there are 1,000,001 ideas that they have up their sleeve that they have kept close to their chest, like good developers hopefully do without leaks. I really hope there are no leaks this time. The leaks did not really help the game at all, and I'd rather be in the dark about this and be excited. I am very, very excited. I don't know if you can tell. I think a lot of people are finding it hard to sort of estimate and guess what is coming, because we're in a very unique period of Final Fantasy XIV's sort of time frame where there are only a few things you can really predict. They could go any direction they wanted. There are so many loose.
Yeah. It's mainly because like Yoshi P mentioned that he wanted to really try something new that had, like, he's wanting to go the new angle of, like, never before done kind of thing with a lot of his stuff now. And, like, that's cool, but it's now annoying because, like, we went through 10 years of trying to predict things based off of your t-shirts. Like, I hope that still comes into play, but still, I like the idea that Meoni has of, like, 1 limited, 2 regular. That is a really cool idea. I never even posed the idea of a limited job just because of the fact it'd been so long with Blue Mage. I just kind of thought it was going to be a one and done thing. So, like, that is interesting.
And so many different storylines that they could elaborate on. We've got Ishtola wanting to return to the first, which isn't really a spoiler since that's been, talked about many, many times for the past few years. Things like that, right? So there's a lot of room, a lot of wiggle room for future expansions. But yeah, that's my predictions, thoughts. And I'm very excited to see if I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. I want to be blown away, and I want you to be blown away as well. So let me know your predictions in the comment section. We might make a follow-up based on what your comments say. So do take the time. I will read through those. and we'll compile the best ideas that you have. So yeah, much love, and I'll see you all next time. Oh man, we're just on the cusp of getting the most fantastic information. It really is like Christmas Eve, isn't it?
It's fun. It's fun. Oops, the wrong one. Okay. Shoot. I probably mentioned literally everything that I have like plan, like my all of, not even so much plans or even predictions, or just all of my thoughts. I've probably addressed all of it by now. Just because like I've been on a lot of talks about this. Wait, hold on. Mr. Happy made one too? Hold on a sec. Oh my god, yeah, he did. He uploaded 2 days ago. He made one too. Okay. We will need to check out Mr. Happy's video as well. This is I'm excited. I'm like really excited. But before we do, I'm gonna rehash all the ones that like I had thought of, right? Okay, so like me and my friends, we've been talking. Like I want them also to get credit for it too. It's not just me. It's me and my friends, right? Okay, so I did want to get to where was it? He had like this one section to where he showed all of the like jobs and roles and stuff. There it is. Okay, perfect. Let me switch over. Full. We'll do, oh, whoops, wrong one. This one. So professional. Okay, so. Yeah, so. Thoughts of like what really needs to be like kind of addressed to like kind of even things out. We need our additional scouting class. We got our maiming to where we have 2 maimings. We have 2 strikings, but we only have 1 scouting. We have 3 physical ranged, and we need a 4th physical ranged. If you're not including the limited job of Blue Mage, we only have 3 casters. Even if you are including the limited job of Blue Mage, we haven't had a 3 normal caster since Red Mage. But I mean, it's been even longer with the scouting. We at least got Dancer, Endwalker, right? But we haven't gotten a scouting at all. It was the same thing when it came to maiming. We hadn't, I mean, like, scouting's almost base. Because scouting came out, I think Ninja came out right before Heaven's Ward. I think it was an expansion before, or not expansion, it was a patch before Heaven's Ward. So, yeah, that's a whole thing right there. So, I definitely think those 3 need to be addressed. Now we have like, so that's 3 right there. We have scouting, physical ranged, and then magical ranged, right? Those 3, and then limited. That's 4 classes that they can make and play with. I mean, like, technically they can do whatever they want, but like, that would be the 4 that's 4 things to address. It would blow me away if they implemented all 4. But to toss out that many, they haven't done that since Heaven's Ward was the closest, because the patch right before Heaven's Ward, they tossed out, Rogue Ninja, right? Excuse me. Then they did during Heaven's Ward, they have, Dark Knight, Machinist, and Astrologian. So it would blow me away if they just like, you know what, we're going hard. 4 classes. But the odds of that are just way too slim. So my thought process, they might sleep on scouting just cuz they tossed out a melee DPS the expansion before. So they might sleep on scouting because of it. But I do think that's something to address. I'm kind of leaning more towards a caster at a physical range, just because. But all in all, expecting more DPS coming out. I gotta be honest, I'm not good at playing like melee DPS. Most of the melee DPS I don't play. I spend more of my time playing either any sort of range DPS, tank, or healer, especially healer. I main scholar. So like, it would be amazing if they actually tossed out a melee DPS that I want to play like a lot. Like, that would be really exciting. So ultimately, I'm super excited. Not like there's anything wrong with the melee DPS or anything like that. It's just like I haven't had like the motivation to really try to dedicate myself to a specific melee DPS, or like there was one that like I liked the playstyle so much that like I chose it over just playing Dancer. I love playing Dancer. Or I chose it over I rarely touch Summoner. I've actually been thinking about messing with Red Mage. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. I'm excited. I need to hear Mr. Happy's thoughts. So we're ending this here. I turned this into a freaking 40-minute video. Enjoy. Please do the whole like, comment, and subscribe if you made it all the way over here. That's fantastic. Hope you enjoyed my reaction. I'm losing my shit. Let's go. Next video.